Hello BUS1111 students. In this video, I'm going to explain the instructions for Applied Activity 4 on primary research methods. The first thing that you're going to do is download the instructions, so they can be found here. Once you open up the instructions, it will step by step walk you through what you're going to need to do in order to complete a questionnaire. This assessment should take between 2 to 4 hours outside of class time to complete. You must complete this assessment individually without using other sources, AI, or without the help of other students. The first step is to identify your research problem. This should be the exact same objective and question you used on Applied Activity 1 and 3. If you need to make changes to this topic for any reason, you must contact your professor for permission. The next step is to visit Microsoft Forms. You can click this link, and when you click it, you should be prompted to log in to Microsoft using your @mycambrian.ca email. Once you've logged in, you'll be able to see all the forms you've created. In your case, you likely have not created a form before, so you'll have to click the New Form button. Once you've got your blank new form, you'll proceed with the rest of the instructions. First, you're going to title your questionnaire. This should be related to your overall topic. For example, my general topic is the smoke-free campus policy at Cambrian College. So that would be my title. The next step is to write an introduction to your form that asks for the participants' consent and also introduces you as the researcher. I do have a sample form that should be used for this. You can find the sample form here within the assignment instructions on Moodle. And when you download it, you should copy and paste this whole block of text. You will paste this into the form description, and then you'll need to edit it for your purpose of your study, your name, your program, etc. You'll have to update this whole entire block of text specific to your research topic. The next step is to create a specific question on your form that specifically asks if the participant has read and agrees to the conformed consent. I'll show you how to do this in Microsoft Forms. After my title and my consent, I'm going to add in a new section. This section is where I specifically ask for consent, and in this section I'm going to create a multiple choice question that just indicates, have you read and agree to the informed consent? You can even write it as, I have read and agree to the informed consent, yes or no, as my only two options. After the section on informed consent, you're going to make a new section called demographic information that includes at least 2 demographic questions of your choice. Remember, these demographic questions should be somehow related or important to your specific research topic. To do this in Forms, I'd have to make another new section, call this one demographic information, and then I can add my choices like gender. I'll do woman, man, non-binary, prefer not to say. And for my question on smoking on campus, I think age could also be important, because maybe if you're from an older generation that had different smoking rules than are currently enforced, you could have different beliefs. So those will be my 2 demographic questions, gender and age, so I can see if they have an association with smoking. Notice that I left age as an entry for text so that a person could enter their exact age in years. After the demographic information, you're going to make another new section, or you can even create multiple sections that has at least 8 questions related to your specific topic. These questions can be in any form, so multiple choice, rating, Likert, ranking, or text, but you must make sure they are closed questions. That means if you're using text, it's something like asking for the age in years. where somebody isn't entering an open response, but there's a very specific answer you require. You're safest if you use the options like multiple choice, rating, or Likert, where people have to choose from specific choices on a questionnaire. You also must avoid using double negatives, double-barreled, ambiguous, leading, loaded, or recall-dependent questions. Other than that, the choice of questions is very individual to your topic. So I could call this my smoking questions section or smoking behavior section. And I could start with a really simple question related to my topic, like, are you a smoker? Yes or no. If you want to ask questions that ask more about beliefs, you could use something like a Likert question. We saw an example of this in class, where you could say, please rank your opinions of the following. So I believe campus should be 100% smoke-free, or I believe, or maybe even there should be more information about the smoke-free rules displayed around campus. And then you would say different options like strongly, disagree, neutral, agree, and strongly agree. Notice I'm using the automatic prompts generated in forms, but I'm putting them in a logical order. What I mean by that is they progress from the most strongly disagree to the most strongly agree, and you could keep adding statements if you want people to rank their opinions on more than one thing. Other question types you could use are rating, dates. You could also use ranking scales, like please rank how important you think each of the following factors are on smoking behavior. And you could say things like peer influence, adult influence, media, advertising, etc. And then people would have to put these in order from the ones they feel are most important to least important. All throughout, you are able to preview what your questionnaire looks like. And as you can see, for the Likert type question, they have to select their agreement. And for the rating question, they have to move their choices up and down for which ones they think are the most important and least important. So if we go back to the questionnaire, just keep in mind that you do have to have 8 questions related to your topic, 2 demographic, and the 1 asking for consent. When you think you're done your questions, make sure you go back to the questionnaire. On the questionnaire, you should make sure the wording of all of your questions is very, very clear so that people are interpreting them correctly. You should also make sure your questionnaire is well organized. What I mean by that is if you have multiple questions that ask for agreement like this one, you should organize them all together instead of putting them separately. You can also change the order of your questions. If you think some are easier than others, remember in class we talked about funneling questionnaires, so starting with the most simple and progressing to the most difficult. So you can always change the order of your questions by moving them up and down. You can also make questions allow multiple answers. So instead of only allowing one option, they can have checkboxes. And you can also make them required so that a person cannot skip that question and must respond to it. These are the general formats of all questions in Microsoft Forms. After you've changed the order of the questions in any way that you think is appropriate to funnel your questionnaire, the last step is to create your conclusion in a specific section. I'm going to scroll to the bottom of my questionnaire and insert a new section. In this last section, I'm just going to thank the respondent for their time. Thank you for completing the questionnaire. please make sure you have answered all questions before pressing submit. And that will be my general conclusion. That must include the thank you and the reminder to check all questions. Something else you can do to make your questionnaire neatly aligned and visually appealing is looking at the style options. This can be found here under Style. If you choose one of the default templates, please make sure that you do not choose one that cuts off your description. See how it says text overflow? For that reason, you probably want to stick with one of the more basic styles that does not cut off your description. However, you can still choose the backgrounds. You can upload your own picture. So if my question is related to smoking, I could look up a question or a picture related to smoking and use that as my background. I could also maybe even do a picture of Cambrian College, since my study is supposed to be specific to Cambrian. So I could pick, for example, this image of Cambrian, or you can pick just a general color as well, if there's some colors that you think best match your brand or the topic that you are researching. So there are many styles available, and you can pick any that you think look good as long as it does not cut off your description. Before you're finished your questionnaire, make sure you preview it so that it looks the way you think it does and that it is easy to read and meets all of the assessment requirements. Once it is ready to submit, you'll click this button, Collect Responses. Make sure that anyone can respond is what you select. The link for anyone can respond is the one you have to select, and press Copy. Once you've copied that link, this is what you will upload to Moodle in the assessment Dropbox. You just copy paste that link, and that is what your instructor will grade. Finally, before you press submit, make sure you've reviewed the rubric for how you can be graded, which is found in the instructions document, and you can also find it directly in Moodle. If you have any questions about Applied Activity 4, please contact your professor and they will be happy to assist you. Thank you for watching this video.